I'm here because the Lord is pressing me to be here. And so I want to be able to give us some reminders as we're going through these difficult times. And just help us fellowship. So I'm finally at a mental capacity where I can be obedient to what the Lord is telling me to do. And here I am. And also, before I get into the video, please bear with me. Thank you. Separate, because right now I'm talking about politics and the word, trying to keep us rooted in what prophecy, is telling us. So we have to pay attention to the present so that we can go and get that information that the Lord has left us in His Word but here, vaccines, and tying people getting them to employment and to commerce. That is insane. And I see people on the left who are really jumping up and down about what Biden is doing to keep people from being able to say that they don't want the professional. I do still need information. I actually, personally, am looking at what's going to happen with cold and flu and COVID together. I don't know what that looks like or not. So those are some things that I want to kind of look at for the winter. And then some of the information that I gotten, especially early on this year, was that people actually may come down with more ailments because of the way that the antibodies from the vaccine can work on someone to block their natural killer cells. So you got natural B cells and T cells that work to fight off disease, no matter what it is. So the example that helped me to understand it is for asymptomatic people. So people who actually caught COVID could spread it, but weren't themselves affected as badly or at all because their natural killer cells, the natural T and B lymphocytes that you have to kill, what is it? Adversarial contaminants that come into our bodies. So our immune system is triggered when our body is encountered with something that's foreign to what the system knows itself, to be. So you have cells that will jump up and actually go and combat that. And for some people, their stuff is that powerful that they figured out how to eradicate the virus without actually needing the vaccine. If I was one of those people, there's absolutely no way in the world you would be able to give me a vaccine. So that's insane. And the fact that we're not talking about natural immunity as a provision. I mean, nobody wants to get COVID. Nobody wants to get COVID in order to have natural immunity. But for those people who have caught COVID and who were able to fight off, the virus, especially those that didn't have to be hospitalized to fight it off, those are valuable people. They actually have working immune systems. That's what the immune system was created, to do. And theirs is working on a platinum level. And I would love to be one of those people. And so the like I just said, the fact that we're not having this conversation is really is disturbing. I mean, to see people on the left be just as belligerent and resistant to information as I see this happening on the right, this is just another whole level of insanity that I am here, to have to witness. This is crazy. So the other thing that I want to talk about with this vaccine, and I alluded to it earlier, is when I said it's being tied to commerce. So if you actually go and you look at Revelation 13, let's go there. So Revelation 13 is talking about how people will not be able to buy and sell if you don't get this mark. Okay, so let me see. And let me go. So we're going to start at 13:13 because we know who he is. This is the Antichrist, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means. And it has, it looks like this is kind of in italics, by the means of those miracles which he had the power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, they that should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causeth all, both small and rich. No. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And I'm going to stop, there at 17. So you see, there won't be any consideration given. It said he causeth all. So you're either with their program and you get to participate in commerce, or you just hanging out there. Okay, you have problems. So if you can't buy or sell, how are you going to be able to eat? I think about bartering, because with bartering, you're not buying or selling, you're exchanging. So that's like one of the feathers that I have in my cap, and I'm thinking, okay, we really do need to count on our communities. You need to be building these communities right now so that they will stand the test of time when the Antichrist, when the final Antichrist, does show up and start doing, all of these things that we're looking at that are supposed to happen in Revelation 13. And in Daniel. Daniel also talks about the Antichrist as well. So we don't just want, but I can't stand his hypocrisy. His hypocrisy is so ugly that I really have to monitor the stuff that I listen to with him, because like now he's off on this vaccine kick, listening to Fauci, and Fauci, lied about masks. He could have just went on ahead and told the truth about that and just told people, hey, we got a shortage, so we need to figure out how to get our healthcare people masks and how to get the population masks at the same time. But no, he didn't do that. He ran around trying to make people feel stupid for wanting to wear a mask. And they're doing the same thing with this vaccine right now. They're telling people you're stupid because you don't want to get this vaccine. And they're going to tell you the same thing in Revelation 13. They're going to tell you're stupid. Now you got to go through all these hoops and you got to figure out how to do this and do that. You can't even go to the concert. You can't go fly to Germany. We can't go out, and eat at the restaurant because you won't get this mark. Everybody that got the mark, just go ahead and go get it. That's what they're going to tell you. And I said in another video that people are going to be lined up around the block to go get this joker. Just like they lined up to go and get this vaccine. And I don't know how people can't connect bringing something into existence now. If we're here now over a vaccine, can you not imagine the way that people are going to be acting towards each other when it's time to take this final mark, when it's time for everybody to make their final decision about who's who and who believes in what and what you're willing to do in order to make that happen. And that is going to lead me into my next discussion with this vaccine, and that's capitalism on a scale of the definition. So let us go and look at each other and making deals. So much so that if it comes to the government having to choose between corporations, the well-being of a corporation versus the well-being of its citizens, it's going to choose the corporation every time. This is what capitalism, and I actually do like a forward slash, a hash, slash fascism, because you can't have one without the other. Capitalism is fueled by fascism. That's why we have all these wars going on. That's why we have all this mess going on with immigration. That's why people are having to strike down because companies don't want to pay them what they feel like they're worth. And they see that companies are getting ready to screw other people that's going to come behind them. So you compared me, but then you want me to turn my back on my grandkids. My grandkids might want to come and work here. And I want them to be able to have a place that's going to give them the kind of benefits that they need in order to be able to take care of themselves and their families. The fact that we have so many nutty Christians who cannot see Jesus in any of this stuff. They can't see themselves. They can't see Jesus. They can't see their fellow man. We are our brother's keeper. Whether or not we do it, that's a whole nother story. Y'all can have a conversation with Cain about that one. But we are our brother's keeper. And the fact that we're so willing to throw one another under the bus so that we can have economic, capitalistic, fascistic gain. You'll go and bomb other brown people, and I'm talking to black people now. I mean, when I say other brown people, but for everybody, you go over and bomb people, in another country that haven't done a damn thing to you. But because of capitalism, then that's why you have to go over there and go and snatch these people's resources that they could be using to use for trade so that they can have decent and stable economies like what we had. Everybody should be able to take their resources and use them for the betterment of their area, for their people, for their land. And we've given capitalism so much control over this country that now you can't even tell people that you don't want a vaccine. And there was something that they're calling a vaccine. Because like I said, I'm a nurse. So a vaccine to me, a legitimate, real, bona fide vaccine is one that will prevent you from coming down with whatever it is that you're being inoculated with. So if it's the measles, then I don't have to worry about catching the measles. The mumps, chickenpox, polio, and all other, things that we always considered vaccines. And I understand people who had concerns about those, things then. But we're able to look in hindsight at things that they weren't able to really grasp at that time so that we can learn how to make better decisions, for ourselves. This thing that they're calling a vaccine, to me, is still experimental. And I don't know how it's going to function in an environment like I just said, where you have colds and flu and all other types of stuff, that we catch before, COVID, showed up. And I actually need to see that. I need to see how this, medication, this therapeutic, is supposed to and is going to interact with other variables, not just variants of other COVID strains, but variables of different things that could impact, how people are able to be able to live, endemically, with the virus. So that was a rant, and I appreciate everybody that stuck around, for that. Um, I was listening to Rick Wiles, the other night, so I already know I'm going to do a video too, because I've got to get the sound. I've got to get the sound that I want to let you hear. And I'll put the link in the description so you can, go watch the program from last night, this last night's program. And he's, talking about this person who is of another religion. What is it? Tom Cruise is in it. It'll come to me. But Scientology. So he's talking about the Scientologists that he feels has infiltrated the Christian church and is using their level of admission to help steer, Bible believing evangelicals, whatever you want to call them, into a direction that is not healthy for themselves or for the country. It's in a dark, violent direction. But see, again, the problem I have with white Christians like Rick Wiles, and I really don't. I actually don't want to hear nothing y'all have to say about Jesus. If you agree with Rick Wiles, then I don't even know why you even call him Jesus, because he is nothing. He is nothing like what is listed in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. The Jesus that white people have perpetuated in the Republican Party does not exist inside of that book. So you can fool yourself and lie to yourself about, oh, I worship Jesus and I'm this kind of Christian and blah, blah, blah. That's what it is to me, is blah, blah, blah. I don't believe in white Christians like Rick Wiles. So anyway, he forgets the fomenting that he's done over these past 5 years. He went and told people he used every charismatic power that he has been gifted, and he used that to convince people who actually believed him. I was one of those people who actually was like, okay, well, we don't agree on everything, but and I actually gave him that credit. I don't do that anymore. And the white Christians just like it. So the way that they look at Democrats with their nose, turned up, and they got that sneer with that lip, it's like, oh, yeah, that's how I see, people like Rick Wells. I really do. So, they look at black people as if we are sub, even if they don't wish us personal ill. The fact that as people who are supposed to love and worship the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, they can see all this murder that is happening in the black community from the state. See, people like to talk about black on black crime. This is state. This is the arm of the state that is denying people due process. I don't care what kind of crime they committed. Everybody, according to the Constitution, is supposed to be able to get due process. And the fact that they just won't even recognize it. It's insane. So, any Palestinians or any Middle Eastern people that think that Rick Wiles is one of these good white people, then y'all need to wake up. Y'all need to wake up. And black Christians, you're stupid to stay in a religion that doesn't even worship the Lord. You just don't even understand how stupid you sound. And I still don't appreciate it when people, have an automatic dislike to people, who say that they love Jesus. But I sure can't understand it. So for Christians who are going to be offended because people don't want to hear your Christianness no more, there's a reason. It breaks my heart. It actually breaks my heart to say that there is a reason why people don't want to hear other people talk about Jesus Christ. And Christians did it. Y'all did this. You made this situation just like you got Christians like Benjamin Dixon who are agreeing with tying being able to take this vaccine to commerce, to you being able to have a job so that you can participate in commerce. He's for that. And that is insane. I mean, our bodies, and I put this on Twitter, the other day, our bodies are temples. And we all get to choose how we're going to treat our temples. Are we going to become fat? Are we going to become, I'll say gluttonous. Yeah. So that's the sin, is gluttony. Is that gluttony? Are we going to become gluttonous? Are we going to become and stay in lasciviousness and in sexual sin? Are we going to degrade our bodies and other kinds of ways, like illegal substances, overuse of drugs, proper use of drugs? So we all have these decisions that we're making every day about our soul. So your soul is actually way more important than your life. But you'll have people like Benjamin Dixon who will try to convince you that your life is more important. So therefore, you have to listen to people who will have lied to you about mask wearing. Fauci lied about something so simple. You think he is not willing to stand there and lie to you about something this complex. And these are things that they wouldn't even trust people in their own lives. If they caught somebody that they knew, and as big of a lie as Fauci has been caught in, they would no longer trust that person. But because it's Fauci, and he's on CNN, and he's on MSNBC, and he's making the rounds, talking to Lady Gaga, or who is it? Some Stephen Curry or somebody. He's talking to all these different people, going to all these different mediums, so that he can get this message. So because he's getting that level of respect from the media, who have also lied. I mean, these people, they continue to lie to us on a constant basis. And they hate Trump, but Trump is right on some level about the media. They take it to extreme, but he is telling the truth, and it resonated with people. So for people who have convinced themselves that they have a tongue that's dipped in silver, like Don Lemon. I can't stand this joker. Oh, he makes me sick. That joker thinks that his voice is so melodious and just so amazing that you're just going to buy all of the stuff that he got coming out of. And Betty out too. She's more humble, about what she thinks about herself. And I actually really appreciate that. But she still does think that her voice, her ability to be able to communicate to people is so strong that she could just hook you up. And with a lot of people, that's actually true. But it's not, I mean, I can hear it. I can hear when she's full of it. Just same thing like I can hear, with Don Lemon. What do they call her? Don Lemonade. And Joy Reid. Oh my God. Oh God. Okay. See, this is the kind of stuff I have to talk about on this political channel, because I don't want to bog this one down. But yeah, just the stress of this whole mess, that we're in. And I don't think that politics is really going to be our ultimate, solution. And I think about like Shawshank Redemption, and that part where we found out how he dug his way out of his cell and into freedom. Now he only had that little rock pick thing that he had, but he used it. He used the small tool that he had, and with tenacity made that thing happen. And I see politics the same way that I'm looking at that tool that he used to help him dig himself out. It's, we have to be intelligent. We can't be shifted to right and left. And you can't tell me that you believe in Jesus and then side with capitalism over what the Lord has told us that we're in charge of. We're in charge of people's health. We're in charge of our brothers and sisters. We're in charge of lifting one another up and being a light to the world. The world is supposed to come to us for relief. They're like, oh my God, we're supposed to be like the cavalry, spiritual cavalry. They see us coming, they're like, oh my goodness, everything is going to be all right. And that's not what, I don't see that when I see a Christian. I actually feel something else when I see y'all. I ain't lying, man. It's hard. It's really, really, really hard to treat you guys like brothers and sisters. I just, look, that's my witness and it's my experience. And so, I'm going to end this video here. And like I said, I'll be back because I want to give you the video to Rick Wild. So thank you to anyone, again, who has made it this far. And I appreciate always your time and attention. And it's really good, to be back talking to you guys. I've been trying to do this for a few days. And now that I finished this part of it, it really feels good. So anybody continue to pray for me, please. I'm always asking, for prayer, always needing it. I've gone through a lot, and we have to do a catch up, video. But right now, I just need to get that information out. So until the next video. Hey guys. I just wanted to be able to say that I made that a couple of days ago. So when I said that the True News broadcast was yesterday, that was a few days ago. So I have all the information in the description box. It's been hard trying to upload this. So keep praying for me, y'all. Okay. Until the next video.
All right. So here I am again doing another addendum to the video. And today is Christmas Eve. It's taking me this long to figure out that I messed up on the video and that it really wasn't something that we could listen to. So if this is something that the Lord is going to allow to be broadcast, I really appreciate it, and all praises. And thank you for anyone who is still supporting what I'm trying to do. I'm learning on the fly. I really am learning on the fly. So thank you for your patience. Amen.